I think the real thing I want to know about, and maybe Zach's inferring that or implying that you might know a little bit more about it, with the employee he had that's trans. I think
Dogpack.
Kris, is that person's name or something?
Oh, Kris Ava Tyson.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know much about that, but I know that person was inappropriately messaging minors. Where have I heard that before? And that person was trans and was already catching a lot of flack because they were trans. And MrBeast was standing by that person during their transition. He was catching flack because of that. But I've heard people suggest that this is somehow bad for MrBeast. Like, did he knowingly hide that this person was messaging minors? Did he or something? Like what? Why is that bad on MrBeast and not just bad on his former employee who was messaging minors?
So you'll have to forgive me. I'm not totally tightened up on this. I've made a couple videos on it, but it's one of those things where after I go into it, I brain dump and I do something else immediately after because it's like valueless information for me and it makes me upset.
Yeah.
So it's like, so the main thing is the Ava Tyson thing. That's what started it all. That is MrBeast's trans friend who is into some really weird shit. And people are saying MrBeast had to know. MrBeast had to know. It's just like the standard conspiratorial stuff. You know, people really are mad about that. And then that compounded with this guy named Delaware, who is a registered sex offender, who was in a couple videos and they knew about it or something. And MrBeast is like his manager for a short period of time. And then he was friends with this other guy, fucking Jake the Viking. You guys know who that is? It's Jake the Viking's. Okay. It's fucking, he's like core he's House Baratheon. If you kind of think about it like that. Yeah. And then MrBeast is like,
so a pretty cool guy.
Ministers.
If he's
cool, pretty chill. Yeah. Pretty chill.
Kind of yoked, a little overweight.
Yeah. But his like brother-in-law is kind of a pedophile. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And so it's this guy Delaware hires
Lannister.
No, he's the one who got killed by the ghoul. I don't fucking remember. Let's move away from Game of Thrones references. So yeah, that's the main thing though, is just guilty by association, MrBeast, plus that on top of his this fellow Dogpack 404 made a bunch of videos on him, interviewed a bunch of people, and just got, you know, if you are a person running a business, you're going to have bad experiences with people. And if you don't have if you're running a business and you don't have HR and you don't have PR training and you aren't, running things through lawyers, you're going to be making mistakes all the time. Like if you don't have a small business of like 10 people that are your best friends, which is what his operation started as, and you grow that and you don't grow that with the nature of business in mind, and that it is incredibly competitive. And people want to see you fail. There's money to be made through failure. So you need like HR, you need all this stuff. They just didn't do any of that. And like, so that there's all these little loose ends that keep coming out of like people saying that MrBeast is abusive or fucking like his ex-girlfriend alluding to stuff. Everyone all at once as a result of the guilty by association with Ava Tyson. And people already don't like him anyways because he is he's the poverty tourism or fucking, what is that called whenever you make money off of charity? Not poverty tourism.
I think that's just charity.
Yeah, that's normal charity. You're right. That's just how it works. Yeah.
They do
but yeah.
See, that all makes sense to me, and that seems very defensible. And if you're listening to this, you've got to imagine when your business goes from you and your buddy to you and your buddy and 3 or 4 guys you hire to all of a sudden, holy shit, we need a team. Like if you don't have some sort of experience in corporate America and you don't know that you need an HR, and like you might not even be in a position to like it might not be profitable to do this. Like, all right, we have 15 employees, we can't afford HR. What are you talking about? We're growing so rapidly. Like that's not the move right now. I don't know. I just don't fault MrBeast for anything I've ever heard about him. No one's ever said anything about MrBeast where I was like, ooh, he did that. People tell me shit about Dr. Disrespect. It's like, can't help you there. That's wouldn't have done that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But with MrBeast fired Kris as soon as the stuff about him being shitty came out. And so like, what do they want from him?
Yeah, I believe so. So that's the main thing. And once again, I think my perspective is unique as well. And if my videos are not like, a lot of the commentary stuff is just shitting on MrBeast and like, oh, you just gotta, but I have a business and like all these people, like I'm connected with him. I have his phone number. Like it's after all this stuff came out. So it's like, I am trying to understand it as nuanced as possible. In my opinion, if I were him, I would not be in the same boat because what you said, Kyle, about the HR and bringing HR on, we did that really early on, and you are correct. It makes it difficult to make money. It makes it difficult to be profitable when you actually care about compliance and don't want to face consequences for inaction really early on. So like, I totally get it. And I'm suffering from that and have been for the last 2 years by just fucking hemorrhaging money. So like MrBeast probably didn't do that by how much money he just throws away in his videos, I assume. So it's like, for me, I hold myself to a standard that I feel like anybody else who's making money off their audience should also hold themselves to. Completely optional. Obviously, you can be a piece of shit if you'd like. I like to be able to sleep at night with a clean conscience, just myself. I don't hold anyone else to that standard. But like when things start to come out, I would like to know the actual truth of the situation, which is why I've had Dogpack so much on my channel, interviewing him and seeing, just seeing what people are saying. What are people saying? And I've talked to Beast, and
what
he needs to make a response.
How would something like that have caught, say, this Ava? Is that the name? Well,
specifically for that, I don't think that would have been a problem. I know. Well, it depends because there's so much testimony that we've heard from people that has not been able to be corroborated or backed up. It's just total anonymous testimony.
It's like comments on the internet,
Yeah. So
like the Kris situation, I don't think there was any avoiding that.
No.
He was part of like the main crew in the beginning, but like HR could have prevented the hiring of a potential sex offender because they would have done a full background check.
And the Kris thing wasn't known. Once it was known, they parted ways, and that was that. This other guy, apparently he was a registered pedo when they hired him. So I wish they had caught that.
And another thing too is with HR in regard to Ava, I believe there are reports of people who were inappropriately treated by that person. And like, if it's in a business setting, then that would absolutely be, you have an outlet. Like you need a third party outlet to be able to go to. Anybody in your company. If it's on Discord, if you're interacting with your boss and you're not being paid and you're somewhere else and something weird happens, you talk to HR. That's how that works. That's how I
suppose so. I think it's also like, in my mind, it's difficult to grasp exactly the size of his business, and also knowing that I'm sure it was fluctuating and mostly growing over time. I'm sure there was a point where I would have thought, yeah, you don't need HR. That's crazy. Just run a background check, do a Google search. But then I'm sure there was also a point where we'd all be like, holy shit, how many countries are y'all in?
Yeah.
Offices in where? Oh man, we got to get on this. I guess it's not, but it's just that MrBeast seems to be painted as someone who knew he was doing evil while he did evil, or he abetted evil or something. And it's like, I think he was just trying to become a billionaire and had managers under him. How much of the day-to-day operations is MrBeast in control of?
I think
I'd have.
So once again, that's a great question. And I would look at it through the lens of me. I would never hire a pedophile, on purpose. Knowingly, on purpose. But it's, they knew though. That's the thing. They did know. They did know. And they also put this person in a mask on video. And so it's like, that would be me
all the time.
It's just a couple videos, but on the videos is always in a mask.
That's what I meant. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
All right. That's a little bizarre. So
I just saw it.
I would never do that. I think that I would be in trouble if I did that.
Yeah, you would. So I got to get some clarification on that, or at least as much as you know. You're saying they knowingly hired someone who had that in their record, and I guess I'd also like to know it. That's the allegation.
Yes.
What
Someone
did
is saying they
do we know
called
specifically
him
what the guy's offense was? Like did he do something to children, or?
I believe it was raping someone, some kind of sexual thing like that of someone under the age of 11.
Oh, see, like the worst thing. So like the worst,
the worst possible thing.
He didn't piss in a parking garage and get caught.
No,
which is what we're gonna. That's what my mind goes to when I want to I hear that my cousin got
wash it.
Yeah. It's like wait, my cousin got caught for what? Oh, he was pissing in a parking lot, right? That's what it was. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what it. Good. I don't have to cut him off.
An 11-year-old was he 11 at the time too?
So this guy molested someone under the age of 11 in 2010, based on this sheet, and he's not.
You're seeing it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that because I think he was 17 at the time, I believe.
I hate to use Twitter as a source. Like, Jesus Christ, just make it a Facebook post.
There is a picture.
This is a screenshot of his registration information I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
I can link it.
Oh, okay. This is a big trip. Okay, got you. Yeah, because once again, like all the stuff, 99% of everything outside of the Delaware stuff and the Ava Tyson stuff is just testimony of people, anonymous sources. So it's like you got to take all that with such a grain of salt. Obviously, you know. And at the end of the day, I just want to see the truth come out. And MrBeast acknowledge what is factual and what's not factual and take it like a man. Stand on business.
So he's Vixen age 1 to 11 years old. So this guy's saying, and what have you found anything about this Delaware nickname? They're saying, oh, they called him Delaware because he couldn't go to Delaware anymore. Is that
I think it happened maybe it happened in Delaware. I can't remember. This is the type of stuff that I just block out of my brain.
If it happened in 2010, this guy would have been 23 at the time, not 17.
Okay. There you go.
At least he picked a friendly mask.
Was he from Delaware?
Like the machine from 8mm.
It says he
was the guy from Delaware. Like, I'm sane washing it in my mind, but like when I
Greenville, North Carolina.
Oh, the out-of-state statute.
He was now, but my point was there was a guy I rolled with or sparred with. He used to call me Jersey. Didn't bother to learn my name. Right. I'm like, is it one of those situations where like he's from where he spent time there and they just called him Delaware?
Yeah, it's an out-of-state statute. He was convicted in Delaware.
Yeah.
He was convicted in Delaware and he's not
or whatever it was. I'm not good with words. I don't fucking know.
What did he do there? Like why is this guy worth hiring despite this
as their manager?
Past?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hired as a fucking manager too. Like it's so weird. It's the whole thing. He really just needs to. That's also not the real MrBeast, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't know why we're showing Twitter.
See, Zach falls for everything on Twitter. You guys don't know there are bad fact checks scrolling by us on most of the shows, and at this point, I'm like, I don't want to get burnt anymore.
You just have to find like screenshots of documents. Like, and you can't go on Twitter or social media and be like, oh, Stevie Stevenson says this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I don't know if I trust Stevie, but if Stevie posts a screenshot of registration information from Greenville, North Carolina, showing when and where and how he was arrested and that he molested a kid, like, yeah, I buy that. And it seems this is true.
Yeah.
And another thing too is like, the detractors have been wrong multiple times. So it's like we have to, like, as viewer, as I'm someone who's contributing to this whole thing, I'm trying to be as good faith as I possibly can. And it is really difficult because I get called a fucking fence sitter or a beast glazer or some kind of hazer or what, or a fucking beast glazer. Yeah. Dude, I think my first
fucking beast glazer.
I'm a bit of a beast glazer.
That's my new gamer tag.
Yeah. Dude, I want to know what has happened. And also with all the big lawsuit today. And if you really want to know what MrBeast has done bad, the New York Times reporting is accurate and now corroborated with an actual lawsuit. So I think that that's our biggest source of true, valid, absolute information outside of this Delaware stuff, outside of all this. If you want to know what MrBeast has done improperly in terms of running a business and put people in danger when they shouldn't have been in danger, that's your best source if you want. But other than that, everything is
I know. I thank you for like putting that in some perspective because all I ever hear is stuff on Reddit mostly, and whenever it's so surface level and so clearly either personal or just like red team, blue team bullshit that I roll my eyes. But it seems like he definitely had some bad business practices,
absolutely,
to say the least,
for sure.
And I gotta say, like, I don't know. I guess. I mean, I don't fucking background check all my buddies and my friends. Maybe we all should. God damn. Like,
I didn't
background
check a single WoodyCraft employee. Not one. If one turned out to be bad, I'd be like, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Like,
yeah.
And like, people say like, oh, your viewers are kids. In Minecraft, they're kind of right. Like there weren't a lot of adults on WoodyCraft.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know.
They always had a credit card there, though. That's all that matters.
It is weird. It's just one of those things because like MrBeast is such a big thing. If the criticism's good, he responds to the criticism well and takes it in turn, and like everything improves. I am going to let it go. If the people who are victimized are cool with it after, for example, Jake Weber, one of the guys who came out, or I think that's his name, one of the guys who came out against him, they made good. I think that that's the way to approach it, is just to like take it in turn. I mean, this is something that it's not just a guy. It's a fucking big thing that is not like, it's not this simple. It's a huge thing that's really complicated. And people get so tired of whenever I say it. They're like, shut up. You're gay.
I'm confused. What's a huge thing that's complicated?
The whole
MrBeast
organization.
It's not just MrBeast. It's not Jimothy Beast. It's like him and 100 employees and contracts with Amazon. Like he doesn't control everything, but he's definitely the one responsible.
How long did this Delaware fellow work there, and like when did it end?
I don't remember. Too long.
Too long. He's in those So what's weird to me, like, I've never watched a single MrBeast video. Like I don't watch all this, like a lot of pop content that everybody I don't care. I really don't. I read a headline that said he cured the blind. He brought water to the thirsty, and I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then I move along. I never
deafness too.
Holy shit,
bros! Jesus Christ.
I mean, Jesus didn't cure that many blind people,
right?
Like, what
I want to see MrBeast do a video about
lame guy
walking on water and then just find a frozen lake.
He brought Lazarus back from the dead, and maybe he was happy. We don't know.
I want to see him fucking feed 7,000 people with 4 loaves of bread. All right.
Yeah, can you imagine the Roman newspapers like chiseled out? Did you know who was the guy that turned on Jesus? It was
Judas.
They're looking at Judas's background. Judas actually touched a 15-year-old girl when he was 27. They're like, yeah, that's his wife. That's his second wife, actually. Do you know what year it is? It's 4.
Yeah.
We're in the year 4, dude. Come on.
It's 4. I'm dying of something right now. You see how I spit up blood while we're talking?
They tell me it's blueberry sickness.
They're feeding me lead and mercury.
At many parts per dozen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dozen,
He's done so much good that I'm willing to overlook some bad. But what I don't like out of all that, like I don't care about bad business practices when you're feeding the hungry and like fixing the blind or something. Like if you just don't have an HR department and someone can't complain every time they're mad, I don't care. But what I don't like is that scary motherfucker with the mask on.
That's weird.
Who did that to an 11-year-old or younger child? That's like, how is he alive? If he'd gone to a prison, a real one, he wouldn't have made it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, he'd have prayed for an MP5.
And he did this in 2010, and he was born in 1987. So what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's
in jail.
Like he was like 27 or something then, right? Like
23.
Math in my head.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bizarre thing. And once again,
don't like
I can definitely need to be fact checked. I'm sure a lot of the stuff has changed. I'm not like staying up to date on the news. I'm very tired of it. I'm like,
understandable.